welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a brand new speaking test for you, so let's get started. Here's part 1. What did you dream about as a child? Well, if you mean generally dreams, like at night, or if you mean dreams about the future, because, those are two very different things. But in general, when I thought about the future as a child, right, when I was young, I don't know, like right now I'm 29, and I just thought that, when you become an adult, you are so, strong and powerful, and I had this idea that all adults are not afraid of the dark, because when I was a child I was super afraid of the dark. But I'm still afraid of the dark. And so the idea that I had that, because I would see like my parents, they'd pack their briefcase and go to work, and I thought, wow, being an adult is so cool. I want to be an adult too. I want to have all that freedom and be tall and be able to reach things. But yeah, I generally I didn't really think much about the future. I think I just kind of lived in the moment, so to speak. What kind of ambitions do young people in your country have? Well, I mean, everyone's different. I don't think you can say, oh, people of this country think this way and that way, except for a few cultural things, of course. Like here, starting a family, getting married, that's very important culturally for a lot of people. And even the younger generation, I mean, you would think that, people would become more liberal over time. But that's surprisingly not the case. So it's still very, because, family is very important here. So pretty much everybody has the idea that, okay, once I'm, in my mid 20s or so, I'm going to start searching for a partner. And so many people, yeah, that's like one of the, goals in life for a lot of people. But also, of course, it's very upwardly mobile. So people want to have a great career at a good, company. They want to earn lots of money as well. But you could say that that's the same case all over the world. I don't think that's really very different. Everybody wants to have a great career, a great family. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the standard all over the world. I don't really think there's anything special in particular, at least not that I know of. What do you do when you have a day off? So when I have a day off, now that's really, I mean, if you consider a day off from work, that's Saturday and Sunday. But the thing is, even on Saturdays and Sundays, I might work on the work. I might not actually do the work, like, teaching or whatever, but I might, create content or do something else. I might, especially, because I've been learning languages as well. So I have lessons on the weekends. And so that takes up a huge chunk of my time. But if you mean like a pure day off, no studying, no working, no commitments of that sort, then I would just see mostly I enjoy listening to podcasts. I enjoy reading. I enjoy playing the piano, practicing the piano, I should say, because I really cannot play. I'm just learning still. But yeah, I have a lot of hobbies and I enjoy partaking in them. What did you do as a child when you had a day off from school? So, now usually, see, I enjoyed going to school, at least, when I was in primary school. Secondary school was a different thing. But, I mean, I remember this one time, the school bus came and, the driver told us that the weather is bad, so we won't have school today, so just go back home, like walk back, to your apartment. And so I was so sad I cried because I really wanted to go to school. But anyway, usually I would just, sleep longer. That's, of course, the first thing you do. But then I'd also, we'd have all these amazing cartoons back then: Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I still find them very enjoyable. But anyway, so I'd watch all these cartoons. They had, the specials, and just generally, if my friends also had a day off, then of course we'd be outside playing. In fact, I have many fond memories of like going outside and playing. I don't know if kids nowadays do that, but back then we didn't have cell phones and stuff when we were so young, of course. So we had to really find entertainment. It wasn't like now you can just open up your phone, go to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, get your entertainment. It wasn't like that back then. Okay, now we come to section 2. Describe a sport that you like to watch. You should say what is it, when do you watch it, who do you watch it with, and explain why you like watching it. Now, it may be the case that you don't like sports if you're someone like me, but see, here's the thing, it's an exam. It's a fake situation in a way, because any kind of exam, it doesn't really correspond 100% to real life situations. So you can, in fact, fake it. I mean, I'm sure that it's highly unlikely that you have never ever watched any kind of match, right? Maybe it's been a hockey match, a football match, a cricket match. It has to be something. Even if it was 20 years ago when you last watched any kind of sport, no one's really going to check if you in real life actually enjoy it. So you can just fake it. You can pretend. Like, I'm not a sports fan whatsoever. But I would just pick any random thing. Okay, maybe I like football, so I'll talk about that. I don't like football. I don't know anything about any kind of sport. But I can fake it. You know that, okay, there's, two teams and you have the big one every 4 years. What's it called? FIFA or something like that. So you can fake info, right? Now, in this case, you can choose, what do you know more about? Do you know more about hockey? Do you know more about basketball, football, volleyball, tennis? Whatever you know more about, it doesn't have to actually be something you really like, yeah, in case, because I know a lot of people don't like sports, and so they get a question like this, and then they feel, but I don't like sports, I don't watch sports, what should I say? Well, fake it, nobody cares. No, they're not gonna check your real life, okay? So, here's what I would say. So I'm a huge, well, I'm a football fan, I'd say, but I just enjoy watching. I'm not really obsessed like a lot of people are, especially boys. But whenever we have, for example, the big ones, right? FIFA, every 4 years we've got FIFA, and so I always make sure to watch those matches. Of course, the times can be really odd, because like I remember waking up at like 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to catch the match, and this one time in particular, this was when I was a child, this was maybe 15 years ago. I think it was in 2006, or maybe, I don't know, something like that, I guess. But there was this one moment, and I, of course, you watch it live, right? So I was watching it with my parents, funnily enough. And it was, I think it was like, I don't know, 12 a.m. or something, but it was live. I just wanted to say that it was live. And so this amazing moment, and this guy, I think his name is Zinedine Zidane. He's French. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, because I'm not very good at French, but he head butted someone, another player from the opposing team, because he was frustrated. I think he lost a goal, and that was like so funny, like, oh, did he really do that? And he did that. And it was all over the papers the next day. And yeah, that was like, oh, I was there. I saw, I mean, I wasn't there in person, but, I saw it on the telly. So yeah, that was kind of funny. And well, there's always, because football especially is just so slow, right? Lots of like things are happening. It's not like, for example, cricket, right? Where like every couple of minutes, you get like 1 run or 2 runs or 4 runs or 6 runs, something like that. But cricket is like the whole 90 minutes. I mean, football is like 90 minutes, and maybe they get 1 goal, 2 goals, 3, 4 if they're lucky, so it's kind of a slow game. And again, I don't know much. I'm not like a fanatic or something, but yeah, I'll watch it with my family, just casual, like the big ones sometimes, like a final or something. I remember, I think this was in 2010 or 11 or 12. I don't remember, but I think it was. I don't remember who was playing. I remember that it was Germany versus, I don't know, Brazil or Argentina or something like that, and they lost so badly. They lost so badly. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, I still wouldn't say, even though I like. Okay, you could say I enjoy watching it very, very loosely, but I'm not like a fanatic or something. Like, I'll watch it if it's like something I find interesting, right? Because it's like so many people, they're so passionate, they're like, oh, my country has to win, or my favorite team has to win, and then it's fun to see them melt down when that doesn't happen. So yeah, I mean, that also happened a couple of days ago with my own country. It was the cricket finals, and they lost. They were what's funny is they won every single match, but then they lost the final. It was so crazy, and people were so mad and so upset. It's kind of funny for me too, because people are so emotional about sports. I am not, because I don't care. I'm just a casual observer. Okay, then we go to part 3. And of course, it's about sports. So, what kind of sport do most people in your country like to watch? Well, without a doubt, you know what's funny is hockey is, I believe, the national sport of India, but practically nobody cares about about hockey. Most people just absolutely worship cricket. You know, it's like it's almost any boy or man. Well, I mean, the younger generation definitely prefers football. It's definitely growing in popularity, but most people they will still be obsessed with cricket and what match has been played and what scores there were and techniques. In fact, they don't just watch cricket, they even play. A lot of people like a lot of men especially, their biggest pastime like is playing cricket with their friends even when they're like 30, 40, 50 years old. A lot of people do it. It's very, very common. Maybe less common nowadays because like I said, lots of people are also interested in football, but cricket viewership remains just huge. It's really, in fact, it's a big cash cow, right? Because people will pay a lot of money to go and watch the matches live. We have a lot of stadiums. In fact, we have, I think, some newer stadiums also built, but of course we have the big and popular old ones. So all in all, it's actually a very important part of the economy, I would say. What's the most popular sport in your country that people play? So this is again, it's the same. People love watching cricket. People love playing cricket as well. Which at least that was the case when I was a child. It was like there was. It's almost as if people don't care about any other sport whatsoever, which is not true, of course. But it's just a sheer number of people that play cricket. But a lot of youngsters, not necessarily youngsters, even people my age, but especially younger people, they love football. There's a lot of football pitches, popping up across the country. I've seen a lot of them, around where I live. In fact, my school had a huge football ground, and they even rent the place out to people who want to, play matches. So football is definitely gaining popularity, but cricket still remains number one. Do you think it's important for children to play sports at school? Yeah, they definitely need to get some kind of exercise. That's also fun, right? I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, well, if you want to exercise, you could go to a gym, which you can. But, that can be a little bit dangerous, especially with the free weights and stuff. And I don't know, you can't trust children around weights and stuff, right? But they still need to get some kind of exercise. And so sports are a good way to introduce them to physical movement and keep them fit, agile, and young, in body, in terms of fitness levels. And also just, a lot of people don't really have any kind of physical activity in life. At least that's the case here. If you teach them from a young age, it also helps, especially something that I've noticed with boys is it really helps to curb or maybe just channel their aggression, right? So it's a good way to instill, self control, but also be able to harness all the power, energy that you have, and channel it aggressive. Channel it positively. What sport should schools in your country introduce? Well, when I was in school, they didn't really like they, taught us. Well, they didn't teach us. They just introduced us to like really basic stuff like football, taekwondo as well. Taekwondo was a big thing. But they didn't really teach, it was like, oh, some people are already talented, great, we'll take them aside. And, so I think that they really need to actually have proper teachers for, at least like, let's say, okay, well, I would say maybe basketball or, sorry, not basketball, I mean football, because that's obviously very popular. And also because with basketball it's like you have to you have to be tall in a way to be able to put the ball through the net, so you need that physical advantage. But stuff like football and hockey as well. Winter sports anyway, I mean it's a tropical country, so winter sports wouldn't make much sense, but depending of course on where you live, there's many forms. I think it does depend on the facilities available, right? Because not every school is the same. My school, well, we had a lot of, we had this huge ground, and like even then, they didn't really teach us. Like it was not considered important, at least, back then. But nowadays, of course, yeah, schools are becoming more sensitive to children's needs. And so, yeah, I would say maybe football, maybe hockey, That would be good because I mean, cricket anyway has it's ruled the roost, so it's like overexposed at this point. But yeah, a couple other sports would be a good idea. So that was that. Wow, 15 minutes exact. Great. Right. So, I look forward to any comments you'd have. Please leave them in the comment box down below. If there's anything you would like me to do or not do, I'm open to reading all kinds of feedback. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, don't forget to like this video if it's helped you. You can share it with other people who are also practicing for the exam. And I'll see you later. Bye.